Oncore Lesson 38, we're still talking about the number system, and at this point we're bringing in rational numbers and the number line. This is a useful tool because it really helps us see positive and negative integers in a new light. So we can easily understand them based on our concept of a number line, and looking at numbers that are negative are to the left of 0, and numbers that are positive to the right of 0, and where they may fall. So here we have 0 in the center, right there. I'm going to draw a line just so you can see it a little better, but I believe it's in focus in the video. So I see here I have 2 positive and 2 negative numbers. So 2 of my numbers are going to be less than 0, 2 of my numbers are going to be greater than 0. Now, if I have -1 and 2/5, a lot of people, and this is the biggest problem that we have, they go to -1 and then they say, okay, 2/5. Well, there's 10 numbers, so it'd be here. But look, -1 and 2/5. Is that bigger than 1? 1 and 2/5 is bigger than 1? Is that closer or between 1 and 2 or between 1 and 0? Well, 1 and 2/5 is between 1 and 2. I don't want to be between 1 and 0. So a lot of people get to negative numbers, they find the -1, and then they make a mistake on their decimal or fraction. Ask yourself, is 1 and 2/5 between 1 and 2 or between 0 and 1? And it's between 1 and 2. So I go to -1, and my negative numbers are always going this way. So -1, and I see there's 10 lines here, so I've got 1/10, 1/5, 3/10, 2/5. So it should be right in here, and I'm going to put -1 and 2/5. That makes sense. 1 and 2/5 is between 1 and 2. And we got it. So take the first one away. Next, 6/10. Well, they're already broken into tenths, which is very nice for us. But 6/10 is not between 0 and -1. It is between 0 and +1. 1/10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10 right here. And I'm going to write it out 1 and 6/10, just like that. Now I have -1 and 2/10. They alternated these on purpose. -1 and 2/10. Well, 1 and 2/10, is that between 1 and 2, or is that between 0 and 1? Well, it's between 1 and 2. 1 and 2/10 is between 1 and 2. So if I have, another way to think of this, if I have $1.20, 1 and 2/10, am I closer to $2 or $0? Well, I'm more than $1, so I'm closer to $2. -1 and 2/10. -1, 1/10, 2/10. Right there. -1 and 2/10. This is in a decimal, this is in a fraction. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatsoever. In this particular case, if I wanted to change everything into decimals, I could. 2/5 would give me 4/10. Equivalent fractions, I could easily do that. Not the point here. Next is a +1 and 8/10. Is +1 and 8/10 closer to 2 or closer to 0? Well, it's obviously closer to 2. So you're asking yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/10, 1 and 8/10. All they really want you to be able to do is when you're dealing with positive and negative integers, positive and negative numbers, ask yourself, what are they between? So if it's a -1 and something else, don't go to -1 and then work your way this way. That's a tendency when dealing with positive numbers. -1 and 2/5, is that closer to -2? It's 1 plus some, or is it closer to 0? Well, if I have 1 and 2/5, that's closer to 2 than it is 0. It's between that section, and then I can start working. So you're just keeping it on the left or the right. So again, positive numbers go to the left, positive numbers go to the right, negative numbers go to the left, and when you're dealing in negative numbers, ask yourself, what am I in between?